Hi guys, I'm here with Usman from WSI Paid Search. I knew I'd say it wrong. WSI Paid Search. And I want to ask you all about your business.
To be honest, this is a startup.
Yes.
So the best thing about being in a startup is that it's relatively flat in terms of organizational structure, which really means that if you put the hard work and the effort and the perseverance to really do your job and do it well, then it's very easy to kind of climb up the ladder, so to speak. So I've been fortunate enough to really focus a lot over the past 3 years, and then slowly I started off as a just a most junior entry-level position, campaign manager, then moved to manager of the team a year later, and it was that for 2 years, and just in January I was promoted to associate director. So now thank you. So now I also deal with basically the biggest shift is really not only working in the business but also working on the business. And this is actually one of the parts of that is really getting the word out there. It's the networking. It's educating people first and foremost really about what we do as a business and how we can benefit them.
So that specifically is my first question. Because as I said, your company name, aka said it wrong, I was like, it probably isn't very forthcoming what you guys do.
Right.
Can you tell me about that?
Sure. So in essence, WSI Paid Search is a digital marketing agency. So digital marketing is a huge field. So we specifically focus on the part of digital marketing that is paid advertising. So another way to say it is pay-per-click. So basically Google Ads.
Pay-per-click.
Yeah, not pay-per-clip.
That's what it sounded like in my head, so I just wanted to pronunciate it.
Pay-per-click.
Perfect.
Where you're basically paying
per click.
Every time someone clicks on your ad. So essentially someone can see your ad, but as long as they don't click on it, you're not actually paying for it. So this is Google Ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. And a lot of people, when I say that at first, they're like, oh, okay, you're responsible for those ads.
The sponsor?
Yeah. You're those sponsored posts that keep following me around. And yeah, that's us. We can basically, with our capabilities, if you've been to a website in the past 10 days, we can track you and show you ads for the next 14 to for the next couple months, even if we really wanted to.
You guys get me so well with clothes.
Yeah, and you know what? That's why it works, and that's one of the very many strategies or campaign types that you have available through pay-per-click. So, in a nutshell, it's really just the quickest way to get yourself online, because there's lots of, as I mentioned, there's a lot of other avenues for digital marketing, like search engine optimization, which is helping improve your rank in Google search engine, which can take months and years. There's other things like social media and building up the community there, which I'm sure you're aware of, can also take months.
Yes.
And there's a lot of community sort of involvement and building that goes on into that. So pay-per-click is probably the easiest and quickest way for a business to get themselves online on the top of Google's search engine results page, or in front of a target market on Facebook or Instagram in a relatively short amount of time. So typically speaking, us, WSI Paid Search, we can get a new campaign live in 7 to 10 business days.
Wow.
From the day of initial briefing. And it's pretty complicated in terms of how to set up these ads, because you'll see an ad on Google and you think it's relatively easy. It's just a headline and some text, but it actually takes anywhere from 8 to 10 hours to thoughtfully craft a effective campaign.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people involved, including myself, the director of the company, operations manager, campaign builders, campaign managers, account managers, quality assurance people. So we really, perfect these builds going out, but anything else could take anywhere from months to actually prep and get to a point where people actually start finding you. And I know that this is one of the biggest things that small businesses face in terms of issues, is really getting exposure. Because everyone has a website, and they'll get their social media pages up, but then when it actually comes time to generating traffic, that's where most people are like, okay, what do I do?
How do people get to know?
How do people know who I am? Exactly.
Absolutely.
I just spent $10,000 on this new website. How do I get people here?
Yes.
And that's again where small and medium-sized businesses or even large businesses will come to us and say, get us online, do our ads, Facebook, Google. What do you think is the best combination? And we're the experts, and therefore we'll say, okay, well, we recommend X budget. We think you should be on Google search, Google display. We think you should be on Facebook and Instagram. And we really take a good look at their target audience, what their product or service is, what the industry is, and how the competition is, and we do that full marketing analysis, and then we'll propose the best options in terms of what we think would best fit their strategy, and get them the type of leads or the awareness that they're looking for. So yeah, that's essentially in a very small sort of nutshell what pay-per-click is. But it goes beyond what I also mentioned, like Bing ads are also included. In the future, you'll see things like Amazon. Amazon ads are going to get really popular with Amazon really blowing up, and that's one of the services we are also hoping to include in our arsenal in the next few months. But yeah, in general, anything where you're clicking on an ad, that's on Facebook or Google, that's us, and we can help you get there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I know that you've been in this industry for some time.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
So I was actually pretty lucky in the sense that I was pretty aware of where I'd be headed career-wise from a pretty young age. So I went to school for business and I specialized in marketing. I went to Western, specialized in consumer behavior was the term.
Yeah.
And then so I've been in digital marketing essentially since I was right before I graduated. So 7 or 8 years now. Out of university, I got a job with Chaunyce in their digital marketing department. So that was more closely related to not only digital but also print media. And for them, I was working at a content marketing agency that worked for the Toronto Star. So we did content, online content, published content, written content. After that, I worked for Hudson's Bay for their e-commerce department. So still in digital marketing, but in a different capacity.
Yep.
And then I've been here at WSI Paid Search for this December, and it is September 2019. So in December 2019 will be my 4th year.
Congrats.
Here. Thank you. So in total, digital marketing, I've been in the industry for 7 to 8 years. Pay-per-click specifically, 4 years. This December will be but the longest I've stayed at any job or any sort of career, and quite honestly, it's because PPC and just pay-per-click and this industry is always changing. There's always new things to keep you stimulated, and it's also just like really enjoyable and really fun, and I like it a lot. I'm super passionate about it, and I feel like I'm going to be here specifically for quite a long time.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I love that. So I'm getting an inkling, correct me if I'm wrong, that from out of college, university, shall I say, you were in this industry. Mm-hmm. So the question of what you did before this isn't necessarily applicable.
Right, yeah.
Growing up, did you have a career that you're like, I want to be this?
You know what, typical brown families and brown parents will always, as a child or as a teen or young adult, will try to sort of maneuver,
guide the process
into like being a doctor or a lawyer or engineer, like one of those really typical go-to quote unquote good profession jobs.
Yeah.
but I knew from like high schoolish that I would be a lot better in an industry that could use both my creative side as
Yep.
well as like the logical side, because like my mom's an artist. I grew up around a lot of arts and just you know, design related things, creativity. So that's a very big part of me, and I knew that that's something I wanted to have in a future career. And that's why I'm not in like finance or HR, is because marketing is a great blend of both of those worlds.
Yeah.
Where you can get the opportunity to really express yourself creatively, whether that's through design or images or creative ad copy, or you know, just overall, you know, designing a landing page or a website or a really good campaign. There's a lot of creative energy that goes into making an ad, but there's also a huge part of it that stimulates the logical side of my brain.
Yes.
Because like I'm also very you know, I like math. I like logical, like puzzles and brain teasers. Problem solver, exactly. It's a great way to encapsulate it all. And with all of these campaigns, like it's very data driven, right?
Yes.
We're not just making random decisions, right? We'll set up a campaign for a month, and then after that month, we'll look at all the data and be like, okay, well, these ads are doing the best. Why are they doing the best? You know, these campaigns are doing the best. Let's reallocate money towards this campaign because it's producing better ROI for us. So there's a equal stimulation of both creative and logical parts of my brain, and that's something I also luckily recognized from a very young age, that marketing would be that sweet spot. And then of course, just considering, you know, today's day and age, everyone's going digital, everyone's on their mobile devices, it just seemed like the smart idea to pursue a career in digital marketing. And you know what, my cards have all played out right, and I've ended up pretty much exactly where I predicted I would be like 7 or 8 years ago, which I know doesn't happen for a lot of people
At all.
And I consider myself really lucky to have actually ended up in something that I feel is the best utilization of my skills and abilities.
So it ticks all your boxes.
Yeah, it definitely ticks all my boxes, and it's, you know, it's a great place to work. Like marketing in general, like this right now is the dressiest I've been. I kid you not, and it's like black jeans and a really, you know, tacky blue shirt.
No.
But like usually I'll come in a t-shirt and jeans, and like it's a really relaxed atmosphere to actually come into work. You know, everything's online on your computers, so a lot of it's digital. Like we work from home on Fridays. We can access our files from anywhere in the world as long as we have access to a computer. And you know, so on a work-life balance, you know, element, it's great. So I get the stimulation from work, but it's also great for, you know, just being able to live your own life, and you know, you don't have to feel super stressed. And you know, if the weather's bad, we can work from home. You know, so it's a really good balance, and I feel like 100% ticks all my boxes on a work front, but also just on a social and sort of you know, other ways that work should stimulate you. You know, motivationally, and just being happy at the end of the day, coming into work where everyone's kind of chill and relaxed and cool, and the work's hard. And it takes a lot of hard work to build campaigns and to get them up to a point where they're performing really well. But it's definitely work hard, play hard environment, and we're all about that.
Is there anything, like any words of advice that you would give to anyone looking to come into this industry?
Sure. So I think my best piece of advice is to arm yourself with as much knowledge as you possibly can. Digital marketing is a huge field. So, you know, there have been, you know, my story sounded pretty glamorous in terms of my come up, but what I conveniently left out was that there was at least like 2 really big gaps of unemployment between Toronto Star and the Bay and here, like 6 to 8 months. And in those times, you know, I was just like, well, I have a degree, I have, you know, experience at this great, you know, what Canada's largest publisher is, like Toronto Star. I don't understand why I'm not getting, you know, more offers or more job opportunities. And I realized the best thing to do would be to keep working on my own skills. I took some continuing education courses at OCAD related to design and web design, and just like tried to build up my skills there. And I did a lot of online courses, lynda.com, which is now I think LinkedIn Learning.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the LinkedIn bought Lynda, so now Lynda's like a part of LinkedIn. It's weird, but anything, there's a lot of online sort of websites that have courses like Udemy and things like that.
Yeah.
So I really did that and just built my arsenal up in terms of skills. And then once you put that on your resume, you know, those are the keywords recruiters kind of look for. And also just, you know, this is probably not the best piece of advice, but also fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, you know, apply for jobs you're completely unqualified for, but you're never going to be 100% qualified for any job.
Or ready. Like if you leave it up to yourself, you're never going to feel like you're ready.
Exactly.
You just got to kind of jump and be like, okay, I'll figure it out when I get there.
And the important part is to really let whoever the potential or prospective employer is to know how bad you want it and how hard you're going to work to, you know, build up maybe that those skills that you're missing. If you can, for me, one of the biggest decisions or factors I consider when hiring someone, because again, you don't get anyone that knows 100% of everything, and if they do, they cost a fortune.
Yes.
But as long as I feel like they have a proactive attitude and they're resourceful and they can demonstrate that to me in their interview.
And drive.
And you know, you can really sense that. I've had people who have hired with absolutely zero experience out the gate, and they've just had an immense drive and they're performing exceptionally well. I've had people who came in with a lot of experience and very little motivation and drive, and they're not working here anymore.
Right.
So it really is about the motivation and drive and, you know, perseverance. And I know that's like the most cliche thing to hear is like, keep going, keep trying harder, you'll get there. But that's really it, because you miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take. So at the very least, if you're not putting your resume out every week, every weekend, then you don't really know what's going to come across. You know, you don't know what you're missing.
Right.
And for people, so that's for people trying to get in the industry, obviously, but for people who are looking to maybe expand their business through digital, I would say really understand, you know, what your options are in terms of reaching your audience.
Okay.
Because pay-per-click isn't right for everyone.
Okay.
You know, social media isn't right for everyone.
Yep.
It's really understanding what the best way or channel is to communicate with your audience. For instance, if you're a makeup brand, right, Google's probably not going to work as well as Facebook or Instagram will because of the visual elements, you know, and then figuring out again who your target market is, what your options are, and then, you know, making sure that you have a sufficient budget to support those marketing efforts, because obviously everyone wants to see results, right? Like the minute we launch a campaign, we have people being like, well, why am I not getting leads? Why am I not getting sales?
Yeah.
And it really is a learning process. So be strapped down and get ready for that process, because things don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
There isn't a magic wand that anyone can wave and get you like 100 leads, you know, in the span of a month. You may be lucky if your business is of that nature, but getting ready to invest some serious dollars, at least for a 3-month period as a test, to really give it a real shot, because most campaigns fail because of a restricted budget. Because we can only make optimizations and improvements to campaigns based on data, right? So a good way to put it is a $1,000 campaign could run for 10 months, or we could have a $10,000 campaign run for 1 month and get us the same amount of data that the other campaign would take 10 months to get.
Right.
So, you know, the more data we have, the quicker we can make optimizations, the quicker we can try to get you towards your goal. But really be ready and don't just kind of reach out and, you know, try to just put your toes in everything, just to be out there. Really evaluate your options. And, you know, the good thing about us is that we are very straightforward. If we don't think your business is a good, you know, PPC is a good option for your business, we will say, this is not a good option for you, you should try something else. If we feel like your budget's restricted, we'll say, you need more budget. And you know, it's really good to partner with someone who can be honest with you
Yeah.
and give it to you straight versus someone who's just trying to take your money. And you know, we've got tons of clients. We've got lots of enterprise clients, so we're not, you know, hungry for really any business. We really believe in solid partnerships.
It's all about quality for you guys.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we really want to make a difference. We don't want to just take on any project that, you know, we don't think we can actually help or make a difference in.
Because then at the same time, that's your name, right? So
Exactly.
it's like, oh, I tried this thing, didn't really work. Why do that again?
Totally.
Right.
Exactly. So it's you know, it's a tough world for, I understand that, for small and medium sized businesses to really get themselves out there, and you know, but the good thing about us is we also just do free consultations. Like, you know,
Good.
if anyone just wants advice and just wants to see where to kind of direct their efforts, we're always open for a conversation.
Absolutely. So you heard it here. If you guys need any advice or you're looking to possibly go this way and go more digital, please reach out to Usman. I'll leave all his information below. Anything else that you're like, they should probably know about this? I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot. Of course, if there's any questions, because obviously there's tons and tons of questions that, you know, once you kind of step into to talking about PPC and pay-per-click, usually piques a lot of people's interest.
Yes.
And a lot of questions do come up, specifically related to maybe their businesses.
Yep.
I think on a general note, we've covered it pretty well.
Perfect.
And hope you guys got a good dose of what I do on a daily basis. Yeah, best of luck to everyone.
Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions, please reach out. And as always, thank you for supporting local. Bye.